Om
Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha.
So, in the last class, are you going to tell about it? The last class, what we did in this verse?
No, sir. Yes, sir. No, sir. I'm not starting with my verse.
Okay, so just because the last two verses were so important, action in inaction. So this is the whole, like the second chapter, what was the line or the thing which we have to remember? Second chapter. Without Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga is incomplete. Without Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga is impossible. Third chapter. Okay. Then what was second? Oh, we did Atma. Atma. What is Atma? Is the consciousness is not a part, product, and property of this body. All that was the second. Third is this. Fourth is this. That action in inaction. Because whenever there is action, then we consider that action is done by me, the lower I. Now we know that what is lower I and higher I. Lower I means what I am ignorantly understanding myself. My immature mind is considering that this person is the real I. But actually, the mature mind, the jnani mind, will always be considerate of the higher conscious principle that is the higher I. When I do any action with the lower I as the predominant factor, then I interact with this world in a way where friction is there, where you can see that action is happening, thick of things. And whenever you in thick of things in the samsara, a lot of things will be reciprocating. So now how to get into that higher I is this chapter where whenever you do action, it should be like actionlessness. So whenever you don't expect anything, and whenever you give it to the Lord's feet, whatever you do and whatever you get, again, second chapter. So whenever you do like an action which is not seen as action, so actionlessness, like a train which is going very fast, but it is elevated. That train goes very fast without any sound. And the train which goes on with the friction, it will make a lot of noise. So being away from this lower I, always residing in the higher I, anchoring yourself in the higher I is action in inaction. And in the second verse, we saw that even the sages, even the learned people also forget this at times. So imagine what will happen to us who are just started this journey of spirituality. So this was the revision for the last class. I will see what happens in this class.
Karmanya karma yag pashet akarmani cha karmayah sabudhiman manusheshu sayukta krishna karma krita krishna karma krita. He who sees actionless of the self in the action of the body, and he who sees potential action in the inaction of the body is wise among men. He is yogi who has accomplished everything. These two lines are repeated in this verse. The wise person sees action in inaction. The wise person sees inaction in action. Let me narrate a story of Garner and his friend. Garner had a beautiful garden in the middle of the busiest city. His friend visited him and he was very surprised to see pristine, beautiful garden. And so he asked the gardener, how is it possible? Gardener said, I don't do anything. They grow on their own. The friend was surprised, so he asked, "You tend to the soil, you water the plants, you prune them, then how can you say you don't do anything?" For that, the gardener replied, "I do not make the flowers bloom or the trees grow. It is nature's work. I simply provide an environment for the plants to thrive. But I'm merely a witness to the growth of this garden." Even more, the friend looked puzzled. So he said, "Action and inaction are not opposite. They are two sides of the same coin. I am active in providing an environment for the plants to grow, but I am detached from the outcome. Garden is the process. I am a part of it. I don't own the garden or the master of the garden." And the true wisdom is understanding actions are necessary, but attachment or ownership to their result is called as inaction. So without action, we cannot live, but you have to be actionless towards the ups and downs in your life. This is the small example that I would like to start with this verse. And this verse is a Grantha Grandhi. The literal translations of Grantha Grandhi is a naughty verse, Mudichulla verse. Why is it so? Because Vyasacharya requested Lord Ganapati to be the scribe. So Ganapati made one condition that when, as soon as he starts writing, he cannot stop in the middle. Vyasacharya is not narrating from a book. He has to compose, he has to compile and everything. So he requested again that Lord Ganapati should write down the verse only after understanding the verse. So when he was out of compilation, so he formed these Grantha Gandhi verses so that Ganapati can take time to understand the verse and he can compile 1,000 or more verses. So Mahabharata has lots such verses, but there are 3 verses in Gita. One from chapter 2. Ya nisha sarvabhutanam tasyam jagrati samyami yasyam jagrati bhutani sa nisha pashyato munehe. And the second verse is what we are doing now. And the third is from chapter 9, verse 5. Nachamastani bhutani pashyame yogamaishwaram bhuta brinna cha bhutasto mamatma bhuta bhavanaha. So before going into the verse, let's brush up our Atma, Anatma, consciousness principle, body, mind complex. Let's take the example of the bulb. Bulbs are of different shapes, but one thing that is common that gives source of light to all the bulb is electricity. It is invisible principle. It pervades the bulb, is an independent principle. What happens? Let's consider this glass part of the bulb to be a Stula Shariram and the filament part of this bulb to be the Sukshma Shariram. So what happens in case the bulb breaks or the filament or it gets fused? Electricity remains. The same principle is applied to the consciousness principle. It pervades the body only because of the consciousness principle present in the body-mind complex. We are sentient. And the transaction that is happening in the outside world is all because of this consciousness principle. So consciousness principle is also an independent principle that enlivens the body. So body-mind complex is also called as anatma, amsa, deha amsa, and ahankara. Consciousness principle is also called as atma or dehi. Now, the difference between anatma and atma is all pervading, anatma is limited, atma is nitya, anatma is anitya, atma is yekam, anatma is anegam. Atma is nirguna, anatma is saguna, atma is nirvikaram, anatma is savikaram. So now, we all know consciousness principle is everywhere. It's all pervasive. It is everywhere. It's inside us, it is around us, and it is everywhere. Does the consciousness principle take part in the conversation that we are having now? Does it take part? It is just an observer. So it does not have action. It does not perform any action. It is free from karma. And since it is free from karma, it is only an observer. It does not take part in any of the action that is happening here. So, for example, when I talk to my friend, I say, I gave up my 10 acre of land to a charity. For that, my friend asked me back, you should own. When did you own the 10 acre of land? So you should own something to renounce. So in the same way, consciousness should own karma to renounce. So it is actionless. Consciousness principle one actionless. Consciousness inside us is just an observer. It does not participate in anything we do. Atma. ஆத்மா வந்து எதுலையுமே பார்ட்டிசிபேட் பண்ணாங்க. ஆத்மா இஸ் ஆக்ஷன்லெஸ். அது எல்லாருக்கும் கன்ஃபார்மா புரியுது இல்லைங்களா?
Soul,
It does not perform
soul is
any action.
not the right word. It is in only Christianity and that. Not in all.
ஆத்மா வந்து அப்சர்வர் மட்டும்தான். It will not participate in anything or any action we do. It is everywhere. It is within each one of us. It is around us. It is everywhere. But it will not participate in any action we do. It is actionless. So the actionless part, what we are talking is this consciousness principle, Atma. Shall we? So it does not possess karma. So how will it renounce karma? So it is actionless. But whereas body-mind complex, ahankara, is it free from karma? No, it is full of actions. Why? It is a finite entity. It is a material entity. We have a mini micro lab inside our body. What happens if the micro lab shuts down? Pranam poch. So, and it is Sthula Shariram is made up of Pancha Bhuta Bhautika Shariram. So it is made up of matter. Matter, the five matter natures always in motion. And let's talk about the wall behind us. Do you think the wall has any action? It is an atom bundle. It comprises of neutrons, protons, and electrons. Electrons are always in motion. So only to our eyes, it seems it's actionless. But at the subtlest level, there is action happening even in this wall behind us. So when the wall itself has some action, then basically our body-mind complex is also full of action. And this statue of cosmic dance, we've seen this statue of cosmic dance everywhere. But Fritjof Capra, a scientist, physics scientist, has written in his book Tao of Physics a chapter dedicated only to this eternal dance of Shiva. Because he could place the movement of neutrons, protons, and electrons in the shape of the dance of Shiva. And we can talk about this statue alone for this whole class, but let us take few components from this statue. The hair of the Shiva looks parallel to the ground. Why is it parallel? A person standing in a pose, will his hair be parallel? No. It will be it will be straight. It's parallel. Why? Because he's always in motion. He's in rigorous motion. He's an eternal dancer. So that's why maybe this pose will be only a fraction of second in his dance. So that's why his hair looks as if it is parallel to the flow. And let's take, and in his book, he's beautifully explained with this statue and the movement of protons and electrons. Tao of physics, T-O-A of physics. And the asura over which Shiva is dancing is nothing but a ego. Each and every element of this statue talks about the Vedanta, what we are studying. And you take the earth. Is the earth idle? No, it's always rotating, moving in its own axis. That's how why we have gravitational force and we are able to stand. So at anatma level, is not possible to give up the karma. But whereas what we can do at atma level, you need not give up karma. We accept the actions at anatma level and we own up the actionless atma. That is, we accept the actions happening around us, but you have to take the higher I as yourself. Claim the higher I as yourself. This wisdom is called Jnana Karma Sannyasa. புரிஞ்சுதுங்களா? அதாவது அனாத்மா லெவல்ல ஆக்ஷன்ஸை விட்டு கொடுக்க முடியாதுங்க. அனாத்மா லெவல்ல ஆக்ஷன்ஸ் இருந்துகிட்டே தான் இருக்கும். பட் நீங்க ஞானின்னு ஒரு ஸ்டேஜுக்கு வரும்போது ஆக்ஷன்ஸை விட முடியாது, ஆக்ஷன்ஸை அக்செப்ட் பண்ணிக்கணும். ஆனா உங்களை வந்து ஹையர் ஐ, நீங்க வந்து ஆக்ஷன்லெஸ் ஹையர் ஐக்கு நீங்க உங்களை நீங்கிறத கிளைம் பண்ணிக்கணும், ஐடென்டிஃபை பண்ணிக்கணும். Actions will be happening, but it will not affect you in any way. Further down the verse, I'll have more examples for me to explain.
இது கொஞ்சம் நான் வேற மாதிரி சொல்றேன், கரெக்டான பாருங்க. ஒரு குழந்தை பிறந்து நம்ம குழந்தைய வளர்க்குறோம் அப்படின்னும் போது எந்த ஒரு எதிர்பார்ப்பும், அதாவது குழந்தை வளர்க்கறது நம்மளோட ஆக்ஷன், ஆனா அந்த குழந்தை நம்மள பின்னாடி காப்பாற்ற போகுதுன்ற ஒரு எதிர்பார்ப்பு இல்லாம வளர்த்தா அதுதான் இன்ஆக்ஷன். கரெக்டா?
Correct. So you understood? Bringing up the child without, yes. Bring up the child without expecting it to take care of you in the.
Yes, yes. Like last time you told, no? Milk. Mother, you.
Milk, yes, she only told so.
Karma, akarma, vikarma. Feeding the child.
Karmanya karma yah pashyat. A wise person sees the actionless of the Atma, the permanent peace of the Atma. Wise person does not wait for the sea to be waveless to go for a swim. He knows even if it is waveless, there will be ripples in the water. Like for example, when we invite someone for this satsang class, ready-made answer will be, "Oh, I'm very busy. It's a dinner time. I have to prepare dinner. My children are at home. So I have to wait for them to grow up, for them to go to the university and then come to the scripture studies." When once they are gone to the college, the answer will be, "I have to retire from work." Once they retire, the answer will be, "My children are marriageable age. I want to get them married." But a wise person never says all this. Even when there are actions at anatma level, he does not find peace by stopping the action, but he discovers peace in spite of action. That discovering the peace in spite of action is what resting in actionless. That is the atma, identifying yourself with the higher I. Yeah, Pashyat, the one who sees the actionless of the Atma admits the action of the Anatma. You go visit a movie theater, what do you see? The screen. But once the movie is played, do we realize the screen? Do we see the screen? But we see the screen, but we forget there is a screen that exists. But imagine a screen that keeps on moving with the movie, what happens?
Confusion.
We'll never be able to watch the movie at peace. So Atma has to be actionless, and Anatma will be in action. And next, akarmani cha karma pashyat. You can say that I sleep at night, so my body is actionless. So how can you say my body mind complex is in action? Your body might be actionless, but your mind is always in action. Even in sleep, you will be thinking about what will I be doing next day. For me, I'll be thinking how I'll be baking the cake, how I'll be decorating the cake. But it will be in the seed form. That is, it will be in the potential form, waiting for me to wake up, for the mind to come back to work. So wise person knows that very clearly, that even wise person sees action in inaction. Wise person sees potential action in the actionless, and Atma is ever actionless. So even the wise person will understand this, that even in sleep, your mind is still thinking about something. It's in the potential form. புரிஞ்சுதுங்களா? புரியலைங்களா? பொட்டன்ஷியல் ஃபார்ம்னா அதாவது அது உருவாகக்கூடிய நிலையில இருக்குங்க. மீன் நம்ம தூங்கும் போது அது ஒரு சீட் ஃபார்ம்ல இருக்கு. எப்படி நம்மலாம் காரண சரீரம்ங்கிற ஒரு சீட் ஃபார்ம்ல இருக்கிறோம், அந்த மாதிரி இட் வில் பி இந்த சீட் ஃபார்ம். ஸோ நம்ம அப்போ வந்து நம்ம வந்து ஏற்கனவே காரண சரீரத்துல படிச்சிருக்கோம், ஸ்தூல சரீரம் அண்ட் சூக்ஷ்ம சரீரம் as though resolved அந்த மாதிரி இதுவும் வந்து as though resolved அந்த ஸ்டேட்ல இருக்கும் for us to wake up to come back to work. Most of our life is like that. Puli wala pudicha mari. That is when you start holding the tail of the tiger, what happens? We'll be running round and round and round. That's how our life is. We'll be looking after some action in life. One action gets over, we'll be waiting for the other action to happen. If that action never happens, we'll get upset. Some might get depressed. All the commotion happens in life. But what does a wise person do? Wise person enjoys the activity, and whenever he has stopped the activity, he knows how to dip into his Swarupam. Rather, he doesn't wait for the action, for the next action to happen. Once the action is over, he goes back, goes into his Swarupam, and he's happy, settled there. Next, we all talk about Ananda bliss that a Jnani experiences. How will it be? For that, here Swamiji explains that happens in a deep sleep state. For that, I would like to narrate a story of Raja Muchukonda. He is from Ishkavaga dynasty. He helped the Devas to fight the Asuras. So it took him an era to finish that fight. And when he returned back to his kingdom, he couldn't find his family. His kingdom was completely changed, and everyone in the kingdom was, he didn't know any of the person in the kingdom. So Deva said, we are very happy because you fought this war for us. You please, we are ready to give you a boon. So he asked for moksha, but the Deva said, we ourselves are not sure what it is. If we would have known, why are we in this post? So you please ask for something else. So he asked, deep sleep state is where the next Ananda I can experience. So please, deep sleep state, Shushupti Avastha, is where I can experience this Ananda and bliss. So you give that boon to me. So until Bhagavan arrives and gives me that knowledge. So during Krishna's avatar, he was enlightened with the knowledge. So he went into the forest, meditated, and the story goes on.
So after moksha, the next best thing is deep sleep. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, no. Where we experience Ananda and bliss is deep sleep
Correct
state.
again.
But for us to understand how it is, that happens in a deep sleep state. What happens? We disidentify from the body-mind complex. We are not karta, we are not doer or enjoyer. In the deep sleep state, what happens? We are completely in Ananda and bliss. So that absolute Ananda, what it is, that is our true nature, inner Atma Swarupam. So Jnani has got this Atma Ananda available all the time. 24/7, he's on a holiday. The state of Jnani's mind will be like he's always happy and bliss. Then again, another story. There was a fisherwoman who always visited the sea to buy the fish from the fishermen, went back to her village to sell the fish. One day, when she was returning back from the sea, it started raining heavily, and she met her friend. Her friend was a flower seller. And this friend invited her to come stay that night in her hut, so which was nearby, so that next day morning she can go back to the village. They both went, they had their food, and they got retired to go to sleep. What happened? The whole house was filled with flowers, and the smell of the flowers was divine, and it was so refreshing. The flower woman slept off immediately. But whereas this fisherwoman couldn't sleep outside the hut. So what happened? Because she couldn't sleep, she thought what was the problem. She went out immediately, bought the basket of fish, left it beside her head, and she slept off immediately. That is how we are so much attached to our vasanas and the lower eye. We keep forgetting the higher eye. So what happens when you let go the ahankara? When the ahankara dies, we are still alive. Atma will be inside us, but our sentiency will be lost. So ahankara, when ahankara goes away, we'll naturally get identified with the higher eye. Ahankara's body-mind complex. Ahankara is the body mind complex that is called as Ahankara because that is the I what we claim to be. And that when that Ahankara we kill that Ahankara, then naturally our identification will be with the higher I. So what happens? I'm free from all actions. So the detachment from the Ahankara is the wisdom. Sah manasesu buddhiman, the one who does not allow his ahankara to dominate. And for a jnani, ahankara is put in its place and it has got a functional nature, but I'm not enslaved by the ahankara. That is, it is functional in the sense you are alive, still alive. Body mind complex is still alive, but you don't claim the lower I. What happens when Grahastha jnani is in the house? He's not affected neither by the happiness nor by the fight nor anything. Whatever happens around him, he'll be in bliss and ananda. Yah sa yukte. Who is a yogi? Who is a yogi? He is a master of the one who has mastered the ahankara is called as Swami. Whereas the opposite of Swami is Asami, who is a Dasa to Ahankara, slave of the Ahankara. Sa Krishna Karma Krita. He is a person of accomplishment. The person has accomplished what? The Puranatvam, fulfillment. And Jnani who's discovered this Puranatvam at higher level is a Swami. And what does the Jnani do? He sees action in inaction and inaction in action. Hari Om.
ஒண்ணுதான் புரிஞ்சிருக்கு. You are supposed to see action in inaction. அது எனக்கு புரிஞ்சிருச்சு. அதுதான்
இப்ப நான் வந்து இன்னொரு எக்ஸாம்பிள் சொல்றேங்க. கடல் சி பாக்குறீங்க, சீல வாட்டர் பாக்குறீங்க. இஸ் வாட்டர் அந்த வேவ்ஸுக்கு காரணம் தண்ணியா? கடல்ல தண்ணி தான் மெயின், தண்ணி தான் ஓஷன்ல. இப்ப ஓஷன்ல வந்து வேவ்ஸுக்கு தண்ணி காரணமா? Is the water responsible for the waves?
No.
Then water is in action. புரியலைங்க.
இல்ல இப்போ
Who is responsible for the waves?
That is the nature.
Nature.
See, அதே மாதிரிதான் ஆக்ஷன் நம்மளுக்கு வந்து நம்மள இருக்க இந்த அனாத்மா வந்து ஆக்ஷன் இல்லாம இருக்க முடியாது. பட் இன்ஆக்ஷன் ஆத்மால இன்ஆக்ஷன் இருக்கு. சோ உங்களுக்கு வந்து சோ இப்ப இன்ஆக்ஷன் இஸ் ஆத்மா. சோ நம்ம அது வந்து ஆத்மால நம்ம சோ நேச்சர் வந்து ஆக்ஷன் இல்லாம இருக்காது. சோ ஆல்வேஸ் தேர் வில் பி ஆக்ஷன் in the nature, in the anatma, everything. But at atma, at consciousness level, it is inaction, actionless.
நான் சொன்ன அதே எக்ஸாம்பிள் வச்சு இன்ஆக்ஷன் வித் ஆக்ஷன்ஸ். ஒரு குழந்தைய வளர்க்கிறோம், அது நம்மளோட கடமை. அதுகிட்ட இருந்து எந்த பிரதிபலிப்பும் பார்க்காம வளர்க்கறது தான் இன்ஆக்ஷன். ஆக்ஷன் இன்ஆக்ஷன். Now say the same example with inaction and action.
That is not the karma.
Yeah.
He's doing something high.
எனக்கு புரியும்.
இல்ல அதுல வந்து குழந்தை என்ன பண்ணாலும் ஆக்ஷன் எந்த ஒரு ரியாக்ஷனும் இல்லாம அம்மா இருந்தா அது ஆக்ஷன்லெஸ். நீங்க சொல்றது இது எக்ஸாம்பிளுக்கு வராது. பட் for my understand
only not குழந்தையா இருக்கும்போது பெருசா வளர்ந்ததுக்கு அப்புறமும் குழந்தையோட லைஃப் டெசிஷன்ஸ் அல்ல அவங்களோட லைஃப் ஸ்டைல் அல்ல அவங்களோட ஆக்ஷன்ஸ் வந்து நம்ம என்ன
ஓகே ஐம் ரைட். இப்போ இந்த குழந்தை செய்யற அந்த குழந்தை வந்து நல்ல ஒரு பொசிஷன் போகுது எல்லாம் போனா இதுக்கு நான் காரணம் நம்ம சொல்லக்கூடாது. அந்த குழந்தையோட ஆக்ஷனுக்கு நான் இன்ஆக்ஷனா இருக்கும்.
ஆமா என் மதர் பொறுப்பே கிடையாது, பொறுப்பு கிடையாது. பட் இத வந்து நீங்க எடுத்துக்க முடியாது இந்த எக்ஸாம்பிளுக்குங்க.
Just go to the first. Yeah, so when you're talking about actionlessness, it is about the higher self.
Yes.
When you're talking about action, it is about the body and mind. Again, potential action is again in the Karana Sharira of the anyone's body. Inaction of the body is again the Sthula Sharira. So this is two different set of things. So when you're talking about yourself, again, you should never say yourself with someone while talking these words. Last time also someone told that. When you are doing plurality, this self is cannot be plural. It is singular. So when you are going to give examples with plural things, it cannot be explained.
So can we say that only the first part?
Hmm.
You see, action is inaction.
Hmm.
Even when we are extremely busy,
Hmm.
we are able to step back and think, I am the Atma, and you're stressed. Suppose I have 10 things to do, I cannot manage, and I'm upset about certain things. If you step back and say, this is my work, I'm doing it, but I have that peace inside me, does that explain the first line?
But that means you should do the work or not? Ah.
But the detachment.
But that
You become an observer.
and realize that
See.
You are doing the work, but you are always anchored in yourself, higher self. That should be not like I'm taking a step back. That step back word is negative. So what I'm to tell you is,
You're not sitting in the thick of things, you're taking a
Yes,
step
yes,
back, looking
yes.
at it.
Yeah.
That is my
So that's
work.
what she gave the example of the movie.
That is actually nice.
That is the only example we can take it a little bit plural. The whatever is going on this board, it may be black color, white color, or splash of colors, accident, anything good or bad, doesn't affect that screen. Why? Same way, same way, the higher self is Atma, we are saying here, which is the Amsha of God, or what are God, about the consciousness. It's a part of the consciousness. It's not the entire thing. So when you consider that entirety, which is within you also same, then it is the Adhara, like the screen. It's not an action, but because of which all action is seen. And we have to always relate ourselves to the Adhara, not to what is happening in our mind, body, interaction with the world. The mind makes all the thoughts, then we interact with the world. Action meaning we are always taking like dancing or doing something. It is the more action in the mind. Mind is a bigger action than what you are talking about, feeding someone or seeing someone grow. That is very small action. In the mind, it is bigger action. That action should be considered as like movie screen. Sorry, the what is playing in the movie screen is what your Atma. Okay. Once we understand this, the second part is corollary. The second part, what is it? Potential action in inaction. That is the Karana Sharira is a potential seed, potential completely grown tree in a seed. Okay, but it can remain there only, roasted seed. A wise man, what is the karma? It is the seed means karma.
So,
Hmm.
there was but they say I think it's in the chapter, they say that even if you are a jnani, you cannot escape karma.
Yes.
You have to do the least amount of karma for your life.
Hmm.
So it can be that even if you are in inaction, you attain everything, you are in jnani, even then for your basic existence, minimum amount of action.
That potential action has to be done. Because breathing itself is action.
Yeah,
and breathing itself will create karma because so many minute bacteria are going in. Even if you, in Corona time, even if you put that mask N95, still we say that there was a coronavirus going inside. There is no way you can stop. So that small, minutest virus also has consciousness. You are killing it, you are getting papa. So that potential karma is also can be considered inaction when you are seeing through Jnani's angle. So basically, we have to anchor ourselves to Atma. Always. Which is only through your practice, constant understanding about your higher self. So Swamiji also says, we bypass. Generally, we are not coming through normal way of Veda Purva, Veda Anta. We directly came to Vedanta. We never practiced spirituality by religious methods, shloka, going 14 years to a Guruji and doing all the work, not just sitting with books. When you go to Gurukula, you have to do everything, cleaning, washing, massaging, putting havan home, food, create, everything is done like a maid. We directly entered into Jnana Yoga, and that's why we are not understanding the things. Means not easily understanding, we're not easily assimilating it. So once you go through the rigorous training, then you are ready to, because Swamiji himself, Chinmaya Swami, 6 months, he just worked like a maid for his Swamiji, Tapovananda Maharaj. Then one day he saw him, just his one sight after 6 months. And after that 2 years, he did not speak. So what rigorous training he must have gone. And then he taught little bit. So that karma part we have missed. So that's why we were very difficult to understand actionlessness, action. We are getting confused with the worldly action. The thought. So Upasana is very important. This is in 4th. So we are in the first Shatakam. Next 6, after 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th is Upasana Yoga, where we'll understand more how to control these thoughts, how to control this so-called mind-body complex interacting with the world by Upasana, by meditating, by calming the actions. So don't just, at least if you remember this, that we have to anchor into the Atma. Enough. For now, anchoring into the self, higher self, not the lower self. Next time anyone scolds or we try to scold, then step back. Then step back and see whether I am that, what is the screen, or I am in the thick of the things. But that doesn't mean you can shout and tell, I did not shout. My Atma did not shout. Like that example of one person was caught after murder and he was producing he was also Vedantin like us. And he argued that, see, I am not the body mind and you cannot punish. So judge said, oh, we are not punishing your Atma. We are punishing the body mind. So you can claim, but if you behave in the opposite way, then you will get punished. The karma will follow. Because tomorrow we will say, oh, I'm affected, I don't want to do work only. I hope what I'm saying is okay. Then next verse.
So next verse.
Oh, no time, huh? What is the next verse? Whose verse?
Allah madam's verse.
Oh, she is going to come next class?
Next class.
Then we will do next class.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. That example of fish woman and it is Swamiji only.
No, sir. My example, sir.
But how it is related to action in action?
Sir, we are attached to our vasanas and we forget that there is a higher I that is being offered to us. So vasanas, we get more much attached to the vasanas and the lower I, because that is what we every day we go about in the life, sir. Like how the fisherwoman was attached to the fish.
இப்ப நம்ம அந்த அம்மா பூக்கறி அப்படி போயிட்டு இருக்கா இந்த மீன் கறி இருக்கா மீன் கறி போயிட்டு இருக்கா ஒரு தூக்கு ஒரு
வராதுங்க சார்.
அப்ப இவ அட்டாச் ஆயிட்டாங்க
ஆமாங்க சார். ஆமாங்க சார். we all are like thatங்க சார். நம்ம வந்து நம்மளோட இப்ப நம்ம இருக்கிற இந்த பாடி மைண்ட் காம்ப்ளெக்ஸை தான் நம்ம நானுன்னு நினைச்சுக்கிறோம். நம்ம அதுலயே தான் இருக்கோம். அதை விட்டு வெளியில வரணும்னு இத்தனை படிச்சா கூட நம்ம அதை ட்ரை பண்ண மாட்டேங்கிறோம். But அதாவது see அது வந்து divine smell. It's been offered in the golden plate. நம்மளுக்கு வந்து the higher I வந்து அழகா பகவத் கீதா is giving us to us. But are we ready to accept it?
So that means you are trying to tell this is introduced. Vasana is introduced. I don't know in which verse. Means in this verse it is introduced. Huh?
No, sir.
Okay.
Lower Ankara, that is Ankara, that is the lower I.
இன்னொரு சொல்லி கொடுக்கணும் ஏன்னா பழைய இடத்தோட ஆன்சர் ஆகிடும்.
So we are so much attached to this lower eye, sir. I didn't really mean the vasana, sir. I meant the lower eye, that is the body-mind complex that to be every day. From morning till I'm attached to myself as Arundhati, not the higher eye.
And that comes as a dream also. We showed that, no, your example.
Yes, sir.
That was a good example. It's a dream. So are we now understood the action in inaction? So when we now start working, like see, my example latest is I am still as a surgeon, and when I am now that new surgeon has come, I am doing the action, but I am doing no action because I am letting her do the work. So when we let go, like as a young surgeon, I don't know how to explain because I'm not another person. So young surgeon, he always want to do and show. Now when you are
Yeah.
letting do and okay, there is no consideration of showing, then it becomes inaction. That's what I'm trying to do from last 1 week. Let her do, okay, you do it. She's very thick of things, she wants to do. Let her do.
So that where is potential action?
It's still there with me now. After she goes, I have to do the action.
She still start the second part of.
It's okay, leave the second part now. For now, just leave the second part. See, again, if I will tell this plural only, it is always going to be plural. You have to reflect in yourself only that I and higher I. The electricity and the bulb. If you start electricity, fan, bulb, AC, cooler, then it will be difficult. So only one. The bulb is, ourselves, the body-mind complex, and electricity is Atma within you. Consciousness, the part of consciousness, not complete. So if the consciousness doesn't work, then finished. Nothing will work. Mind, whatever thoughts in the mind and everything is over. See, example, that also example give, no?
Yes, sir.
Everything will be over. No, what I'm saying, if you giving the example closest is electricity. It's constantly coming, but if it is not realized, switched on, then you are dead, as God is dead.
Realize of Atma.
Yes.
So actually this example, because Swamiji was talking about lower eye and higher eye, sir. So for us to understand the lower eye, I took the Bhushan.
See, we understood lower eye, higher eye, no? Where it is? Yeah. In only, with only. Yes. And higher eye, a jnani always is anchored in the higher eye. So for him, everything is potential action, and it is of inaction value. Means the value is inaction. Nothing, he doesn't do anything. Even though he is doing a job of some job, menial job, or a very big job, he will do for the sake of doing the job, role playing, Karnataka. He will not like a beggar in a anchoring show or something where he is supposed to do a role of beggar. After coming down the stage, he cannot do begging, isn't it? So that's how we should understand. I have got a role of mother, father, sister, whatever, and I have to do it perfectly. But I become a sister for everyone, elder sister for everyone, go and giving lecture. You will have very less people around you, isn't it? Or you may have to do a lot of work. Thick of things you will be. So you play a role where is required and get away from it, which is very difficult, madam, isn't it? Madam is listening to me, that's why I'm saying. You play a mother for your son and grandmother for your son, whatever. And then grand, you're waiting for grand also. Inside somewhere. 120 years you will live. No, madam, it is like we are thinking ready. That will come in the chapter number 8, which I am teaching to the children. Everything, if you see how slowly he will divert, what is readiness? What is the day when you say I am ready? We are telling now I am ready. As soon as outside some bell rings, we are not ready. We are not ready. That day I was asking someone, if God comes in the night today. No, God comes today night in your dreams. Wake up. Are you ready? And he will say, for what should I get my this? Then he will go back. So yeah, There was one story, Janaka, again, she also told very beautifully.
நம்மளால எதுவும் நடக்கலைன்னு தெரிஞ்சுட்டா வெளிப்படையாது. நம்மளாலதான் இது நடக்குதுன்னா ஐயோ அது நடக்கணும் இது நடக்கணும் இதெல்லாம் நினைப்போம். It is not because of me.
Ah,
It will
so again,
happen.
this is what action in inaction.
அது தெரிஞ்சுக்கிட்டா we'll be ready at any time.
Then you have become nanny. At least see what I suggest for all of us.
Correct.
For all of us, what I suggest, if you are doing the class and if you can extend the class for 1 hour, now you go out and 1 hour you can extend. Then you are become a nanny for 1 hour. If you extend to 1 day, then you are nanny for 1 day. Let me complete. If you can extend to 2 days, you are nanny for 2 days. If you can extend like this for 1 week and then come for the next class, try to do that. And then again the class will impart something again next week. That's why the satsang should go on. If you are not able to do for 1 day also, then the next 6 days at least you are Agnani and come back. See how it can be done. Some practical ways you have to find. Otherwise, we will be learning till the end and then it will not be easy. Because death, 8 chapters about death. It won't be telling you when it is going to come. And definitely we wish that we all get a peaceful, complete life. And the end, our mental faculty is awake and we can pray. No, I have done my work very efficiently. And now whatever you give me, I am accepting it. That is what is moksha. So yesterday I was telling madam, 16 car accidents one time when I was coming. Front of me, 16. One about, it was a common paper, very big news. Before Dharmapuri, few trucks, cars, everything crushed. I have never seen such actions. I have never heard also like that. So how many people got the moksha that day or how many remembered God that time? Someone must be listening to music. I'm just thinking in that way. So while sleeping or this is finished. Some cars are charred completely. How many will be in the ICU today? How many brain damage? So we have to think that minutest level. And are you ready? It is a very difficult chapter, 8th chapter. And I'm teaching to the children now. So, but they are accepting it. I was so surprised. They were accepting it so well. So it is also mentioned how to focus in that chapter, how to focus on higher self. So we're talking about higher self now. So how to focus, where to focus. Then I will take you to myself. Like that. Basically, it's not very far, but we think that Atma is very far, somewhere very far. Now at least we know it is within us. The higher self and lower self is view only. So it will come. It is just that the subject and the object is world we were interacting, should be turned 180 degrees. We cannot turn the eyes like this. Mentally, we can turn ourselves and look within, and then you will see a bigger world is there. And I have to calm this world, and this action which is happening in this is more than actions happening outside. And it's very difficult to see the seer. Observe the observer. Okay. Nice, very nice.
Can you tell the meaning of this verse?
Satsangatve nisangatvam nisangatve nirmohatvam. Satsangatve. This is satsang. Saha satsang means good accompanying people. Satsang. And when people are talking about only Lord, satsang generally. When you have such thing, nisangatvam will come. Nisangatvam means you will not get attachment. You will detach from the worldly things. When you're talking about God, you will get detached from the worldly things. When nisangatvam comes, I think it is nirmohatvam. Nirmohatvam means the next. Moha will not be there. Desires will go. Nirmohatatvam. Nischala tattvam. Means nischala means you will be having one dead. What is that? No. One focused mind, which will not be chanchala, which will not be going here and there. You will be focused on what? Next it is nischala tattve jivan mukti. Jivan mukti. Your only desire which is left, which is very, very particular desire, that I want to get moksha. So that's why it is put in the behind that we are all satsangi Once you are doing this regularly, you will be automatically detached from the other people in the world, worldly affairs, and all the desires will fall down apart, or you may be fulfilled, and then only one desire remains. Focusedly, you will follow moksha. That is the highest goal of the four purushartha, artha, kama, dharma, moksha, the shreyas. These all three are prayers. Whatever you do in prayatnas, prayers means efforts. You have to put a lot of efforts. And very easy is moksha. We think it's the opposite way. Many people who start the journey.
Is moksha only after death or while living?
Whose question is angry?
No,
Why did you add the
start with-
prefix? Don't worry, this is for everyone.
Follow all what you're learning and if you start practicing, and that is moksha.
Now and here. See, that is what today's Janmashtami, Krishna Janmashtami. Krishna has always been telling us, it is now and here. Not that tomorrow. All people are telling
So you're
after
not talking
death.
about mokshas after death. You're talking about life with moksha.
You want your investment to grow now or after 2 days or after 100 days. I'm giving you option. Just tell me. Let me ask you straight. No, see, today a lottery is there. 1 crore. Tomorrow 15 crores are coming. Which day you want what? Today's lottery or after 15 days?
Yeah, we go back to this.
So the lottery is moksha. I want it now and here. Day after tomorrow, maybe 2 moksha or 100. I don't care about it. I don't want it. So it is given here. After death also you will go to somewhere. Means what? If you do a lot of spiritual studies, but still something vasanas will stop you or habitual tendencies will stop you, then you die. We die. Then we might go into a gati, which will take us to Brahma Loka. Brahmaji will teach us this all, where we will 1,000 years will be young. But finally, you have to get the same knowledge from him to go to liberation. That is a bigger lottery. But who wants that lottery? If I am already knowing this in this Janma, I am Jivan Mukta. Here and now. Here and now is the important word. Don't wait for next moment.
Because mostly moksha is related after death, which I don't believe in. So that's why I asked you.
You are correct. Your belief is what it is told here. In this, it is Jivan Mukti is what we should try, attempt. Because once Jivan Mukti,
With peace. That is why we learn all this.
live with peace, happiness, security, which is internal. Then you are free. People generally think moksha means after death. So that is not right. And other religions, I don't want to comment, but they always tell heaven or hell. And that soul word which you told, soul is for someone which they confuse with between pathology, physiology, anatomy, everything together. Soul. So Swamiji says soul is not going to be in our word, it is Atma. And Atma we saw that in 2nd chapter by 15-16 verses, that Atma is not born, not dead. It doesn't travel. Nitya, Shuddha, Satya, everything is Atma. So then it cannot be soul. And we don't want to have I want to go to heaven or hell. We don't want only that. We want to go beyond that. So we have understood that. So we are all Jivan Mukta from today. From now. Till we, yeah.
நான் ப்ரிப்பேர் பண்ணிட்டே இருக்கேன். நீங்க கேட்டது கத சர்க்கஸ்ய முக்தஸ்ய ஞானாவஸ்திர
Chetasaha.
யஜ்ஞாயாச்சரக கர்ம சமக்ரம்
Muchate.
பிரவிலிதே சோ இந்த இதுல இந்த மெட்டீரியல் வேர்ல்டுல அட்டாச்சா இந்த வேர்ல்ட் எல்லாம் பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தா கூட யாரோட நாலேஜ் வந்து ஞானாவஸ்தித அதுல அட்டாச் ஆயிருக்கும், யார் வந்து அந்த சமர்ப்பணம் யஜ்ஞாயாச்சரக கர்ம எல்லாம் அந்த சமர்ப்பணம் பண்ணி பண்றாங்களோ அவங்கள வந்து முக்தி இதுல இருந்து எல்லாம்
4.3. 23. Your verse is going to be there. It's there. We are just not going that verse.
All the answers are in this.
All answers are there. All answers. What I am also talking is from this only. Okay, we'll.
ಎಲ್ಲ
Yeah, yes, yes,
Sir,
sir, yes.
everything is in this, sir. You read this, you prepare this.
Om Purnamada
Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.